wonderful community, Lawrence, Kansas. And, people always like to make fun of those of us from Kansas. They, ooh, do you have running water and electricity? And I have to tell you, being from the Midwest, what a great place to have your roots. And those are definitely my roots. Yeah, hindsight's a great thing, and I've been doing a lot of that. For me lately, my introduction has been, hi, I'm ERIN Brokavich, not Julia Roberts. I mean, that's been the hardest thing for me. But, oh my gosh, as that little girl, I definitely had hopes and dreams of someday being a doctor. And I was actually discouraged from that because I'm a dyslexic. So, of course, everybody around me told me that I wasn't smart enough to do that. Now, as I grew up and matured, I clearly could start to see that, I could have a different perception of myself. And while all of them thought, I was special ed or stupid or I wouldn't succeed, I realized that that was their limitations and that I could have a different choice. And my choice didn't have to be theirs. And so I started coming out of my box a little, even though I didn't get that opportunity to go to med school, which is something I clearly wanted to do. And I had a vision of being a mom, which, I became a mom. And it wasn't until after I really stumbled onto the situation out in Hinckley, California, that I could look back and see everything that my family offered me that I wasn't consciously aware of, but it was so rooted in me about the value of family and health and honor and honesty. My father's an engineer. He used to tell me stories all the time about water and that someday it would be a commodity. And being a mother myself, here I stood in this community and everything that was part of my being and what I learned and what I knew and what I'd hoped was all staring me in the face. Well, I've been so in tune to my gut for so many reasons, just simply because I was voted in high school the girl least likely to succeed. And you think, I see the look on your face. But, those failures were always in front of me. And I learned to think outside of the box. And I really believe that, when a door closes, a window opens. If we're perceptive and open to that. And so for every time the door got shut on me, I didn't want to be put in the box of self-limitations that everyone else thought I should be in. So I had to learn that even though I was different, it didn't mean I was inferior. And changing my perception of how I saw myself. So I've always kind of been in that mode. There's not that pivotal moment because so much of my life was about overcoming obstacles that I channeled it into helping others. For me, there's no pity party. Life is just a continuum of interplays and exchanges and overlapping events, good and bad, and how we perceive them. And I don't think that I ever internalized it. I could tell you clearly, I cry. I mean, even now, just the other day, I got frustrated, dropped on the floor and cried. There's nothing like a good old cry. But I allow myself that, and I channeled it into helping others. I wasn't that aware of it at the time, but there was this something inside that was driving me. Sometimes I'd ask myself, what am I doing? I mean, I would come home at the middle of the night, I'm thinking, I never see my children. I'm investigating something that I have no business looking into. For God's sakes, look at me. I'm running around in stilettos and little mini skirts, and I never see the babies. I was making no money. I thought, what am I doing? But there was something so deep that...
This is like us. ERIN Brokavich. She did the thing with Hinckley. Well, that's cool. She's a hero.
My God.
Was a myth. Provide some compensation for these people's suffering and hopefully make some difference and some impact about corporate America not being able to deceive us, and that we could begin to clean up this site was just awesome for us. And then here came this movie.
Awesome.